We tested the 300 series and we thought that was a good car. And we got something built for one reason and one reason only: proper off-roading.
This is a Nissan Patrol Warrior, and today we're going to do everything except off-roading.
Let's roll with the intro. Okay, let's start with the exterior. So Premcar took a already capable Nissan Patrol and they redesigned the car, and this is what we came up with. So the front lights are still from the basic Patrol and it does look good. There is a daytime running element to it and it is massive. These got to be the biggest headlights I've seen in a car. The grille, it is piano black, and in today's terms it's not that big compared to the Sahara one and what most BMWs get, so that looks okay. The badge, it does look surprisingly modern because Nissan redesigned their badge. And ground clearance, now they did lift this car by 50 millimeters thanks to the suspension works and also the tires. Now underneath you do get a Warrior branded bush plate which is red. There's 4 different colors you can choose from and this is the Moonstone White edition. And out of the 4 colors, this has got to be the most beautiful color because this is a striking color, and given the size of this car, when you're driving it, everyone looks at you. Okay, at the side of this car is quite tall. It is 50 millimeters taller than the standard Patrol, and this has got to be the very first car that is taller than me. Now you get 323 millimeters of ground clearance for off-roading, but like we said before, we are not going to be off-roading today. And wheels, now you get 34.4-inch tires and 18-inch rims. You also get a side step here, which isn't that useful. I mean, I really didn't need that. But short kings like Gavin would probably need that. Sorry, Gavin. Am I missing anything? Ooh. You also get an exhaust here, which is very, very G-Wagon-y. And now let's move to the back. I did forget one thing. So, hold on. You do get V8 and Warrior livery here, and it looks quite nice. You also get plastic cladding over here and over the rear wheel arch. So when it's off-roading, you break it and you have to replace it. It's a bit cheaper. Now let's go to the back. Okay, the favorite bit of styling for me is the back of the car. This LED daytime running light element of the rear tail light is quite beautiful, and you don't get the Patrol badge here. You get a Warrior badge instead of the Patrol one, and I think that looks good. Honestly, that's so much better. You do get 2 recovery points here and here, and a tow bar there. You get a spoiler, which is unnecessary because aerodynamics isn't really great when it comes to this car. But I think when it comes to styling, this got to be one of the most beautiful cars that I've seen on the road. And before I forget, I'd like to thank Adrian Brien for lending us this car. Go check them out if you want to buy a Nissan. They've got great people there and you'll probably get the best prices as well. So if you want to buy this car, it is $102,000 before on-road cost. So yeah, thanks to Adrian Brien. Also subscribe and like. More cars like this coming in the future.
Now looking at the interior, compared to the 300 series, the Nissan Patrol is quite dated, like they have not done much to change it or make it modern for a vehicle which is made in 2023. Looking at the center console, one thing that they've done is they removed the wood finish which they've had in most of their Patrols and replaced it with a black piano. And the infotainment system, it's pretty ancient, just as this vehicle is. One good thing what Premcar has done is they put Alcantara over here on the dash with the Warrior badging and Alcantara on the door, so that's a huge plus. Now the seats are quite comfortable, and if you do take this vehicle off-roading for what it's meant to, you would feel very comfortable. And then there's many other things, like there's this door handlebar. There's this handlebar on the door over here and one over here, so you can use this vehicle for very rugged purposes. And this vehicle is actually very beneficial for a family who loves off-roading, as this is an 8-seater SUV. Now let's figure storage space. So the black piano does come with a lot of different compartments to store your water bottles or your coffee cups. Then you get the glove box over here, which is the traditional. You get a storage over here to store your sunglasses. You get the center console, which opens both ways and which can store the water bottle. So there you go. And also you can store your water bottle on the door bed.
Okay, now let's test the space at the back. We'll send Gavin to the chamber at the back. So the seats fold all the way here, which is quite nice. Now, Gavin, do your thing. Shoes off, please. Thank you, sir.
Oh, yes, sir. Yes,
Thank
sir.
you, kind sir.
Yes, sir. Unfortunately, I have been banished.
Yep, he's been banished.
Yeah.
Okay. We put the shop people at the back. Too bad. You'll have to go up. Okay. I'm gonna take this off so that people can see you. Okay. Headspace got a lot. Leg space got a lot. It is quite luxurious here. You do get a AC vent up here, which is quite nice.
Yeah.
Gavin, how are you doing at the back?
I mean, it's not bad. Like, yes, for my, it's there isn't a lot of red group, and you cannot move these seats like back like the 300 series. But I mean, it's okay. Like, it's not always that you're gonna fit 8 people in the back.
Oh.
And there's AC vents over here. There's bottle bins over here as well. So it's a lot of positives.
You also get a headrest, by the way, if you
Yeah.
lift that up. There you go. So
There you
do
go.
it for your seat. I don't think the camera. Yeah, there you go.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
So now let's look at features in the back. So you do get a handrest, which is also a cup holder, which is quite good. And one of the coolest things, you get an ancient digital screen, so which can control all your AC and your fans out in the back.
Okay, so let's talk about tech within this car. You get 2 analog displays and a digital display in the middle. You can barely call that a digital display. It's straight off a calculator from 2009. Now, you do get sat-nav in this car, which is quite nice. You do get basic apps such as you can monitor your driving performance and all of that. But let's be honest, no one's going to be using this. You do get a 360 cam, and if you put it to reverse, you also get a reverse camera. Now, this is very disappointing. For $100,000 car, you get an interior from 2009. They definitely could have done a better job. One thing I do like is the fact that infotainment over there can be controlled via these buttons here, and because it's so simple, it's quite easy to use. You do get blind spot monitors here and over there, which is nice, and this is basically where you have all of your off-road controls. You get your high gears, low gears, hill descent control, traction control, diff locks, blah blah blah. And because we're doing a road review, we be on road. So overall, tech wise, pretty basic, nothing handy. Now let's talk about the engine price and specs of this car. Engine price and specs of the Patrol Warrior. Starting with its engine, so it gets a naturally aspirated V8 which produces 399 horsepower and 560 newton meters of torque. It's not a particularly high number, especially when it comes to torque, because this is a turbocharged engine, and this is not a turbocharged engine. This is a naturally aspirated engine. That's why. So naturally aspirated V8, it sounds quite amazing. And props to Nissan for keeping the V8, unlike what Toyota did. They put in a twin turbo V6. This is heaps more fun to drive. Now, it drives via a 7-speed automatic gearbox. This car only comes with an automatic transmission, and it sits on traditional coils rather than an air suspension. Now, the coils have been worked with. They are revamped by Premcar, so the coils are soft at the front and more firm at the back. But when you're driving this car, it is quite luxurious. We've been driving this for over a day now. It sounds amazing, it drives amazing, so we like the car. Now, competition. You do have the Land Cruiser 300 series, you do have the Defender and the Discovery. We've tested all of those cars, we are proud to say that, and we'll let you know what our final thoughts are on that one. Now, let's move on to the cool features. Okay, let's talk about the cool features of this car, starting with its exhaust. Hear this, so I'm gonna keep my mic over here. Second coolest feature is keyless entry. So the car is locked, and there you go. Third coolest feature is that this car is a proper off-roader, thanks to Premcar and Nissan itself. Now, you do get a 5-year warranty if you buy the Nissan Patrol, but if you convert it via Premcar, you get 5 more years, which is quite nice. But we all know it's a Nissan, it's quite reliable, unlike its competitors, the Land Rovers.
Okay, so now for the 9 features. Everything's inside, so hop on. we all know that petrol is an ancient vehicle, so they've done nothing to change it. One of the main things is that this vehicle does not have Android Auto or Apple CarPlay for a vehicle which was built in 2023. For a vehicle which is this massive, it has a very small rearview mirror and it does not have a sunroof. Okay, and the final annoying feature about this vehicle is the quality of its reverse camera.
Okay, so let's go for a drive in the Patrol Warrior.
Mm.
Okay, so we're not gonna be off-roading this car. If you want to know how this car performs off-road, I would highly recommend other channels. If you just type Patrol Warrior in YouTube, there'll be plenty of videos, but this is about everyday use and kind of performance as well, on roads that is. Okay, let's start with acceleration. So this car sounds absolutely beautiful. Listen to this. How great is that? How great is that V8 noise? There's two different exhausts. There's a normal one and there's one on the side which I showed before, and that only activates when you put your foot down, and it results in this. I've enjoyed driving this car. Literally for the past 1.5 days, well, one day, we've been driving this and it's quite amazing to drive. It's so much fun. Now, we are on a tarmac road. There's not much grip thanks to the off-road tires, but if you're driving this every day, it's doable. It literally is doable. The steering is quite soft. You can literally take corners so easily. And the suspension, now it is quite soft up in here. You can go over bumps and you won't feel them. It's quite luxurious, despite the fact that the interior being, well, ancient. The car is quite luxurious. Now I have to say, this car, it is a massive car. I mean, you're sitting tall, it's wide, it's long, so it is one massive car. But when you're driving it, it just helps you feel like you're driving a sports coupe. It literally feels small thanks to its engine. Now, you don't really feel a lot of weight when you're driving this car because, one, that exhaust noise when you're driving this car, that will help you feel like you're driving a sports car, which is quite dangerous because when someone like me or Gavin is driving, that's only going to make things worse because we're going to be like, okay, let's hear the V8 and then do that, which is not that great. But we've tested this with in everyday situations, such as we've gone to calls, we've gone to different parking lots, and everyone looks at you. Literally everyone looks at you. Now let's move on to a scenario where we're on a main road. Okay, so we're in one of the main roads here, and the very first thing is you are sitting quite high. Oh, speed camera. Luckily for everyone, we're doing the speed limit. Anyway, you are sitting quite high, and when someone is behind you, this side mirror, it is quite small, so the rear visibility is not that great. Now, another thing that I do have to mention is you do get your cruise control settings here, and it's fairly straightforward. So once you set the cruise control up to whatever speed you want it to, you can literally let go of, not let go, you shouldn't do that, but you can literally just cruise along, take your foot away, and it will be one of the most comfortable things on earth. And that's a very good feature when it comes to doing long trips, which this car was built for. Okay, final thoughts on the Patrol Warrior. You want to start?
So I would give this vehicle maybe a 9. Yeah, one, the point loss mainly being the interior is very dated. They could have done so many better things with it. Even if they looked at the 300 series compared to the 300 series which we tested, and the Defender and the Discovery,
Yeah.
all the competitors, they had good interior. Except for the 300 series, they could have also done a better job.
Yeah.
But Nissan could have done a far better job with the interior. So, but other than that, I always have liked the Patrol over the 300 series. So, yeah, that's that for me. It's a 9.
Okay. Now this car is 50,000 cheaper than the equivalent Land Cruiser, which would be the Toyota GR Land Cruiser. But this car, unlike the Land Cruiser, has a soul. I feel like this car has a soul.
And it has a V8.
Yeah, and thanks to the V8 especially, that exhaust, best thing in the world. I think driving wise, I think I've never had so much fun in an SUV.
Yeah, and it's because it's massive. You feel like you're
you feel like
the king of the
yes,
castle.
I'm on the road. Everybody move. That's what you feel like when you're driving this car. And thanks to the exhaust as well, because you're like, hey, I'm big and I'm loud as well. But this car would be 8 for me as well. That's only because the interior, like Gavin said, they could have done a much better job. There are 2009 cars. My Audi has a better interior than this. That's
exactly,
a 2009
yeah.
car.
And
They
then-
could have done a way
and one of
better
the
job.
only things they've done is they swapped the wood in the center console for a black piano, and
Yeah,
that's
black
about
piano
it.
finish,
And
but
for a
yeah.
vehicle in 2023, no Apple CarPlay, no Android Auto.
Yeah,
They do
but-
have a touchscreen though.
but I will say this confidently. Out of all the cars that I've tested, if someone was like, buy one car, this would be it.
Of all the cars, of all the
All-
competitors of this vehicle.
Nah, all the cars.
Yeah,
Because
it
I've
is.
had so much fun in this car. Literally, it doesn't compare to the Land Cruiser, because despite the Land Cruiser being very comfortable,
Yeah.
that felt like, hey, okay,
I'm a rich kid.
I'm a rich kid. But this is like, look at me,
I am
I'm
aggressive.
big, I'm loud. And it's a capable off-road as well. You couldn't take that Land Cruiser
Oh,
off-road.
you could.
Yeah, but yeah, I would say overall 8, but I would get this over the Land Cruiser.
Yeah. Just need to find some 100,000.
Yeah, can do though.
Cool. Like and subscribe.